Chumash for Monday. All right, Avram is on his way. He went to, he listened to Hashem to go to Canaan, but there's a famine and he had to go to Egypt. On his way to Egypt is where we have open up. Page 14, verse 14, Yadalit. Vayhi kevay Avram Mitzrayma. And behold, it was when Avram went to Egypt. Vayira Mitzrayim es Isha. And the Egyptians saw the woman. Kiyafahim that she was very beautiful. Vayhi kevay Avram Mitzrayma. As Avram was entering Mitzrayim. It should have said as they entered Egypt. It says in the singular as Avram entered Egypt. He was a group, at least he was Sarai at that point. Her name was. So why when they came to Egypt? Right? Why does it say singular? The people leading this pack is Avram and Sarai. Rather, it teaches us that Avram hid her in a chest. And through, they demanded the custom fees at the border. They opened it up and they saw her in this big box. That's what it says. He entered because she was hidden. Tesvav. Pharaoh's nobles then saw her, and they praised as being fit for Pare. So the woman was taken to Pare's palace.
This is like Dina. Right?
Yeah, a little different, yeah.
Box.
Good one. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're right. So they saw her and they praised her and they took her to Pharaoh. Rashi, they praised her for Pharaoh. They were praising her like, she is fitting for a king. Hagunuzul Melech. Tezayin. Well, Avram hated Bavura, and for Avram's sake, they treated her well.
Well, doesn't she wear a veil? I thought she was wearing a veil. Why wouldn't she be wearing a veil?
I have no idea. Maybe they took the veil off.
What?
Maybe they took the veil off.
Obviously.
I don't think they were so prudish. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they were so modest. You know what I'm saying?
Well, one of the patriarch's wives didn't Rivka wear a veil at one point?
I think you're thinking of Rivka. Oh no, Rachel. Rachel and Leah had a veil. Yeah, but this wasn't by the marriage. This was they were noticing her en route. Okay. Anyways, for Avram, they treated Pare treated him well, and then thus Avram owned sheep and goats, servants and donkeys, servants and maidservants, cattle, donkeys, servants and maidservants, sheep, donkeys, and camels.
But wouldn't they assume right away that Avram and Sarai are married? That would be my.
So they actually, Avram yesterday said, Sarai, tell them if they ask, say you're my sister.
They're actually talking to her as she's going in. Somehow they're communicating.
Yesterday, Avram said, the cover story is you're my sister.
Yeah, okay. All right, but that's what I would assume right away, even before she says anything.
Well, maybe they had a suspicion, but then she allayed it by saying, no, I'm his sister.
So after she says she's his sister,
yes.
Then they come to all these conclusions.
Hashem then brought tremendous plagues against Parai and his household, by the word of Sarai, the wife of Avram. Menagish Vagemer. B'makas ras and loka b'shitash kashle. What was the plague? It was a plague called the Rasan, which had something to do with the reproductive organs, and it made a rash in his reproductive organ area, and it made any marital relations very painful, so he didn't molest her. There's Beisai, him and his house. Rashi translates that's not his house as in the house, but as in the household. Enesh Beisai. But the Medrash actually says includes his walls, his pillars, and his utensils. Al Dvar Sarai, by the word of Sarai. Al Pi Dibura, by her orders. She would tell the angel, smite, and he smote.
It's an important phrase that I never really paid much attention to.
Sarai had these powers
Sarah,
directed,
brought this plague upon us.
right.
That really colors tainted the whole.
I mean, she's not a passive, like, heroine.
And Rabbi could have known of these powers.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
Actually, you see that. That's actually one of the reasons, if I'm not mistaken, the commentaries say what justified Avram
Right.
to put her in danger while he gets rich.
Right.
So I believe
He knew
he knew she
she wasn't in trouble.
would not get hurt. He knew that she would not get hurt. She knew she was so righteous that God would not allow her to get hurt. He was certain of it. But he did. I'm not as impervious to getting hurt.
Right.
So we have to make a cover story. So yeah, that's actually my point. You notice that's actually the justification. Yud Tes. I'm saying Yud Ches. Vayikra Pari Avram. Pharaoh called Avram. He said, "What did you do to them? What did you do? What's this you did to me? Why didn't you tell me that she's your wife? You test. Why did you say she's my sister? I therefore took her for myself as a wife. And now, behold, your wife, here she is, take her and go. Unlike Avimelech, who said to Avram, my land is here before you, Pari told him, go and do not remain here. Meaning, he didn't say like, you could stay here. He said, no, get out of here, because I'm not hurting her, but the people here are very shtufe zima. They're steeped in immorality. And someone else might take her and hurt her and harm her. So get out of here. Shneimar, it says in Yecheskel about the Egyptians of those times, the Zirma Susim Zirmasam, whose issue was as frequent as the issue of horses. They were.
Now, did Abraham get rich because they bought Sarai? How did he got rich when he came to Egypt, right?
It's customary if you're the family of the bride and the king is marrying this, sister of the family.
So he gets wedding
He
gifts.
sent gifts to the family.
Yes.
Avram was the family.
Sugar.
That call it a dowry. Call it a
call it a dowry, but
dowry plus. People made marriage alliances all the time to benefit for different reasons.
But Abraham's there, and he allows it to happen. That's not good. That's evil.
You're saying Avram is like he's like selling. He's throwing Sarai under the bus, and he's
exactly.
So we addressed it a little bit. Can I have the lifestyle? Yeah. We addressed that question. That the commentaries do the same thing. Like it's not very nice.
What's the question?
how could he sell Sarah into danger and get rich from it? Like, right?
I would go in the other direction.
Rescind the whole deal.
So the Zohar, which we talked a little about Zohar, the Zohar said, even though Avram feared God, he did not rely on his own merit. And he made this kind of plan that he's going to take the guise of being a brother. He did not ask God to save Sarah in his own merit, but rather in hers. He knew that it was through her merit that he would accumulate wealth from the other nations. So the person acquires money in the merit of his wife. So Avram went to Egypt to obtain food from the other nations in her merit, and he relied on her merit that he would not be hurt and she would not be touched.
That
In other
could
words,
happen anyway, without him confronting Paro.
in other words, Avram, the way we look at the relation between husband and wife is that all blessing comes to the husband through the wife in her merit.
Wow.
And he knew that. Now that applies both for his financial, prosperity and
No, I think
and for her
he was acquiescent, and he should have been. He made a
okay.
big mistake. That's an avera, in my opinion.
So it's okay to have that as an opinion, but then you have to do the homework to see what the great masters deal with it to understand. Shouldn't leave with
I'll become an old man.
Take the book of Genesis. I'll give you the cheat sheet. Take the red book, the book of Genesis that you have. Look up this verse, see the commentaries, and you will see different approaches that give it more nuance than just
sure there's
Avram
approaches, but it's all sophistry, if you know what that word means.
No, I don't.
It's all
wait, Alan, you haven't read it yet.
Make him innocent, and it isn't. He ain't innocent.
Alan, you haven't read it that you can call it sophistry yet. That's not fair.
I know I'm biased, and I'm labeling something without fully.
Once the cat's out of the bag, Alan, you're taking away credibility.
Well, I have to tell you what my brain tells me.
We're a very academic bunch here. Once you take a certain subjective bias,
I thought Alan bought into the idea. I thought Alan bought into the idea that everything in the Torah is creditable.
Anyways, let's move on.
I believe it happened, but
we're almost done.
I don't believe he was correct.
If this is the word of Hashem, who are we to question whether it's good, bad, or sophistry?
I feel we've had this conversation before.
Okay, we had it.
We're gonna have to move on. Okay. Okay, your test. So he said, I'm sorry, Yachaf. So Pharaoh commanded his men concerning Avram. And they escorted him and his wife and everything that he had. He commanded upon him. He commanded upon him. He commanded his men concerning him to send him on his way to protect him. Its meaning is, as Targum translates it, and they escorted him. Here's 16. Avram went up from Egypt, he and his wife and everything he had, and lay together with him, Rashi, Avram went up towards the south to come to the south of the land of Israel. It says above, traveling steadily southward to Mount Moriah, which is in the south part of Israel. But he's going from north. Because Egypt's south of Israel. So it doesn't mean he went in the southern direction. He went north direction to the south part of Israel, of Canaan. Beis, Avram was heavily laden with livestock, Bamikna, Bakesev Azav, with silver and gold.
So is it legitimate to hold on to your wedding gifts that the wedding never occurred?
Pharaoh, actually, it's a good question. Yeah, Pharaoh, like, to take your stuff and go. Remember, Pharaoh didn't want to die. He didn't like the plague. Gimel. He traced his route from the south until Beisel, to the place where his tent was set previously, between Beisel and Oi. Gimel. He went into his journeys. When he returned from Egypt to the land of Canaan, he stayed in the same lodging place as he stayed in his way to Egypt. So he went back, retraced his route. A person should not change his lodging place. Another explanation is, on his way back, he repaid his debts. Menegev, from the south of Egypt, which is from the south of Eretz Mitzrayim, to the south of the land of Canaan. Dalid, to the site of the altar that he originally made there. And Avram thus prayed, and Avram prayed there. He called in the name of God. Rashi, that he had originally made there. He went to the altar that he originally made there, where Avram had prayed. So he actually prayed at this place before, and he could also mean that he called there now as well. It was like he made it a holy site to pray. It says he went to the place of the altar that he was there early, that he made it, and he made originally there, and he called there. So was the calling there in the God's name by the altar in the past or the present? Both. Hey, I'm sorry. That's it.